Are we live? Hello? Welcome, guys, to my stream. Hopefully, we are live now. I had some internet issues, so hopefully, this time is good. Now, let's get back to it. My name is Lazar Popovic, or Lashy LP, and I'm an artist online doing commissions for D&D. And I don't know why is that funny, but this is my third time trying to actually explain and start the video. So yeah, in this video I will do some studies before work. Let me adjust my table. Yeah, hopefully everything will be fine. I managed to make like a video of me doing traditional. I mean, set up a camera so I can draw traditional. And yeah, I have here my Computer F window with a lot of references, and I will try to explain how I do studies. Now there is several fuck me. There's different types of studies I'm doing. By the way, it's morning for me. I'm a bit slow. I just drink my coffee. Now there's different types of studies. There is like flowy gestural drawings, and I'm trying to find some of the references. For example, like this. I'll just take a reference and then trying to draw in a gesture. Now, for this example, this dude is buffed, muscular. So I was using it for, doing studies for anatomy breakdown, but not deep dive into anatomy. When I'm diving deep into anatomy, I like to use diagrams like these and trying to understand shape and how the muscles and bones, mostly muscles, how they connect. So I found these on Pinterest or Twitter. Now different types of studies are like this by Taco, and you can find him or whatever on X or Twitter, and I just download some of his work, and then I try to understand what is the point of specific post or study. And interestingly enough, like I like to, while I'm drawing or studying this like highlighted thing, I have to draw the face or parts of anatomy or everything on the side. So I actually learn or practice the full body or muscle connection. Like, okay, I'm drawing this trapezius or whatever. By the way, I don't care about names of anatomy. That's just for flexing. In real life, you just draw a shape. So if you're a beginner, don't stress yourself about this. But yeah, while I'm while I'm driving, guys, beep beep, beep beep. While I'm drawing this part, I had to draw everything else. So it's a nice additional study learning of a body or a specific thing, like how he does hair or where does hair starts or folds or drops or whatever. And there is a lot of specific things. Different types of studies are breakdown from artist. Usually I remember the name of the artist, but I can't learn them all. So yeah, I just found something I really like and I save it for later and try to implement into my work or just study it or whatever. And also we did like a Zinchin where we took some random pose. We did this. And then I'll show you in a moment. I just have to find it. And then we try to like replicate this pose to his style. So we mixed, and that's a nice way to practice. So yeah, like this. We took the style, we took the reference, and we mixed and make Peppa Pig something of our own. And that's a way really good way to learn the style of an artist, but also implement into your own work, or just explore the possibilities. Like it was a fun challenge. It took around an hour. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. Especially one more thing is when I'm usually starting to draw, I just opened Pinterest and I found the stuff I'm like drawn to. Sometimes it's like artist, sometimes it's just plain anatomy, sometimes is like stuff like this. Certain parts like I want to practice legs, and then I just have several. Oh my god, I'm so slow today. Several, bruh. Different types, several, brate. This is so cringe. Let me listen. I'm practice my English. It's not the best. I am from Serbia, by the way. So it's not. It's my second language. My English. A few, several, brother. This is. I never had the problem. Several. Jesus Christ. A few. Some. A couple of. Good fews. Okay. A few. Oh my god. So I was planning to do some gestural drawings. And some Taco Tuesday. I like to call it Taco Tuesday. Oh, also, I like to, of course, studies from TV shows and games. So yeah, as you can tell, I have everything I need. And it's also a good thing to repeat sometimes of those references. Now, of course, there is some references for folds. I mean, it can be for anything, but I like to focus on a certain thing. I like to practice. So yeah, now we're going to do some gestural drawings, and I will explain how I approach them and what I'm focusing on. Now, if you want to join me, just take your pencil or whatever. If you're watching this offline, like off the stream, hey, that's amazing, bro. And take a pencil. Or take a pencil, bro. I don't know why my accent's slipping. I am not. This is not the Serbian accent. Serbian accent is rough. Hey, bro. Arashu bi. Now, the one thing is dangerous. The scrolling of finding a perfect reference. It will just drain your time like crazy. So I don't know. I will stop right here and just start drawing. In this case, I don't know how much time will I spend per one, but usually I spend around 5 minutes. You can time it, or you can, I don't know, just eyeball it. But yes, I'm gonna start with, there's a lot of clothes here. I'm gonna start with this one. Now I don't know how big should I make it, but yeah, I'll just start. So this is my first time of the day drawing, so please don't be harsh on me. I don't know why I'm this nervous. It affects how I talk, and I didn't talk to no one today. My fiance is at work. She was a first shift. She is a first shift, so we didn't talk. Mm, so I cannot wait for her to come back. I'm gonna have lunch. I'm gonna go to a gym. Now, let me get back to drawing. You can just blindly copy, which is a bit slower and doesn't have any. Um, you want to learn as much, but the competition, um, consistency is the key here, and just repeating and drawing will get you into your fingers, and it will be a nice habit to have. But when I drive, oh my god, bro, when I'm drawing, I think of simple 2D or almost 1D lines, and then I just make those lines thicker in a way like a shape and make them 2D, and then I add the 3D element of just make more depth. So focus on those spaghetti lines, how Proco might say. But yeah, just some like you basically make a checkpoints like rib cage, head, skull, joints, arm lines, S lines for like legs, or depending on the pose of the legs. And by doing that, you're going to practice proportions as well, and whatever the reference will offer you, like maybe some interesting folds or anatomy or just muscles, whatever it is, maybe interesting angle from for perspective, or maybe just something they're wearing that will be useful for concept art. So yeah, you never know. That's why I like these type of studies. It's all in one, and it's really useful, and it forces you to learn different things in a way. Now, when you don't know how to how to drive something, um, I combine with like taco, or just find how to break down a certain thing from anatomy diagrams. So I go back and forth, and then I don't do this. I don't do this too much, like often, because it will make you stiff if you just focus on studies. So I like to do is apply those studies in my own like invention work, basically. Dri- Drive. I don't know why I'm saying driving all the time for some reason. I'm gonna use sketch. When I sketch, I basically I'm applying everything I learned from these studies. Hopefully the quality is good. I'm basically making a 3D shape like simple, almost geometrical shape. And then I just edited slightly to make it more like organic. And maybe sometimes I add some like shadows or values. And like sometimes I don't even know what I'm driving, sketching, driving. Oh my globe. And these parts that I'm sketching are excellent to practice for cylindrical like observation skill. Like how do I draw um, a cylinder on a 3D shape? And these are affected by the perspective. So I know because of this where is a horizon line. This should be around here. And if I want to sketch a cylinder, for example, here, it will be more like almost a flat line. So it's useful when I want to sketch a character and see, okay, I have to follow the perspective. How do I find it? Or how do I follow the perspective roughly? I use yeah, circles, cylinders. No, that's not the word. But you get the point. And based on that, you know how to, for example, add maybe a shirt, how the shirt will fold or not fold, but the shape that will have or be visible from an angle. I don't know. I don't have to know the perspective that well. I just have the feeling: is it above or is it below, or is it even with the horizon? And it will be um, more or less open, like basically this. So yeah, if I'm looking from below, it will have like this. If I'm looking from above, it will be like this. So I'm gonna, adjust these. So I'm like here. I can see a bit of this cylindrical shape open, like 2D shape. So that's very useful to learn at the beginning because it will affect how you draw folds, drops, or basically anything because you can put these into any shape. This sword, for example. The sooner the better. I hate this pen, by the way. I don't know why I picked this pen. I mean, hate is a strong word, but it doesn't feel that good for sketching right now, especially on this paper. I use it for different sketchbook, and then it's really good. Let me switch. And especially when you draw a face, those cylindrical shapes can be very useful for head proportions. This is terrible, but you basically don't care that much. It's not a cope. You don't care too much about studies. It's basically you're observing with the pen. You're transferring those informations, um, and by quantity you will get better. You just have to make more, And then when do you focus more, it will get better by with time. Like this is terrible, especially her eyes. It doesn't look anything like it, but that's not the how to say, it's not the point. If it gets, if it looks good, it's like a bonus, but that's not the it's not the like main goal of these studies. It's basically just warming up your fingers, trying to like use your brain actually, and just start and observe and absorb the information, and that you will apply later on in your work. So I'm starting with the head and the shoulders, torso. This one is tricky, but if I just use simple lines, it's, you know, doing good. It's hard to talk and do studies at the same time, so sorry. Now I like skip one thing in the middle from 1D. I already start adding 3D. I can actually just do this. Make a circle, joint, and then add a tube. And then I just split in half. Like I'm trying to learn um I'm adding those shapes just for easy to break down, but usually I like to skip that part because I already see the simple shape, the geometrical shape, and I add the 3D elements. Now I use this when I'm sketching for client work. So when everything is so complex, you have to think a lot of things at a time. So I use that. I use that approach. For example, I can use that for this head, like a box, and then I can use also this and use what's the name? Loomis method. See where the eyes are, the nose, the mouth. I did make some mistakes here, but again, that's okay because you know those are mistakes, and you're gonna try to you observe them, and we try to avoid them the more time we draw. The more time we draw, it will be refined and refined and filtered, and you will be able to just make better drawing. I'm not saying prettier drawing, it will get eventually, but here it's not the point. If you want to do a pretty drawings, and then it's a different focus, you know, it's different type of study. It's like technical study where you focus on the line and lines and basics around line art. I will run out of a paper here. but that's okay. So I'm using like this, almost like spaghetti lines. And then I will apply a cylindrical shape, like a tube. I'm gonna make this like a bit folded because of the bones behind it and the like, gesture. I'm gonna add some muscles and call it a day. For legs are just simple triangle shape or like how you say, yeah, 3D triangle. I don't know how do you say, a block of cheese. And then I like to split. I mean, you just split it because there are fingers. And I like to separate into two groups, like a thumb and the rest of the fingers. And then there is a blob here and the heel. Joints. And we draw a foot. So if I start, okay, this is the thumb here and then this and this here and then I slap this, and it's much harder. I start with a basically simple gesture. It can be like this, and then I add a 2D line, and then I can make this more 3D by just making this, like adding a volume of thickness and adding more and more on top of it. So basically you start from a big, then proceed to medium, and then to small. And you always think about big, medium, small while driving, guys. When you drive, you honk at big, medium, small. This should be called driving with Lashy LP. Next, the next. I will focus on the gesture and folds here. I will briefly explain how I think when I drive folds. What am I saying? Driving? Oh my god! Wake up! Yeah, you can see it. So I will start with simple hand loins. So from 1D to 2D to 3D, and then going into smaller parts like 2D and then proceed to 3D. You basically zoom in while you proceed, and then zoom out and zoom in and zoom out, zoom in. Okay, I'm gonna see. Her arms is basically hiding behind the rib cage. You also think about overlapping, but that is later on. In this case, I will imagine this area here is a pelvis, and then I'm gonna sketch a circle here as a joint, and then I'm gonna add a line here that connects to a knee, or like this to a foot or a leg, and then one behind. So I'm thinking about overlapping. I am a bit confused how this works. Maybe I made a mistake here, but with those overlapping, elements because the pelvis, although it works with those joints like that, in this case it's not overlapping that much. I can still keep the circle. There is a bigger foreshortening going on here than I sketched it. And because there isn't a lot of anatomy going on here, I'll have to imagine how it looks. So I will start with those 2D lines and then proceed to make cylinders. Hmm. Now I'm running into a problem. I don't have too much space. Now this sketch is a bit more stiff than I would like to be, but I'll explain later. I mean, I'm going to explain now, but I will have to just make this more make this opacity more transparent. Okay, now that I have gesture and those simple tubes, I can sketch on top of this the folds and the cloth. Now we have here we have folds here because of the pelvis. They are, I'm gonna say, there is a stretching and compression. They compress because of the gravity here at the bottom, but they start from here. There is a tension here, almost like this. I won't bother you with patterns, but there's patterns going on. Basically, Y patterns or Z patterns. And because I know how the leg is oriented, and I have the volume of those cylindrical shapes, I can just add on top of that um, those folds. Sketching folds are extremely hard, not gonna lie. So there's a tension here. This part is um, showing the body, while this part is showing the folds. And that way you can actually simplify. Just you don't have to sketch every fold that there is, but those main you should sketch, um, thinking about compression and tension. Now this part is like compressed, so you have those puffy folds around the waist. Now I'm just roughly sketching, like, how to say it. Basically I'm adding the volume, or I can use this smudge tool. It will save much time. My smudge tool isn't, it's not smudging that much, but it will. I need to have more of this lead. I don't know how you call this. Graphite. They is it the word converge? Like they're starting from this line, and they go like this, and they fade. They wrap around this cylinder that we draw. I finally say draw, not drive. And then there's a tension here. And because we draw this now, I know where the muscles are. There's a compression here. The knee is a dot where also lines or folds are radiating from. I didn't sketch this nicely, but basically this area here, it's this shape here. It's basically a circle that one part is folding around the leg, and this is the axis, like the extra material that is hanging from the this tension part, area. So for example, the knee area makes, of course, if there's an excess material, it will make this loop. So you think around this with ellipses we talked. Now because we're looking like the horizon line is here, we'll look this from top view. So we're going to see this like this cylinders, ellipses. I'm going to see like this. This is the horizon line. We're looking from above our top view, and we're going to see this. Of course, because the axis area is going from elbow, go down from this. We won't see this area, but we have to imagine it. So basically, because of the top view, we're going to have like this, or like this. Basically a sellotape like this because of the top view. So this is a nice tip. If I even explain it nicely, but yeah, this is why this occur. This is not shading. This is adding a volume basically to explain the shape to it. I'm not a good teacher, but I luckily I understand behind what I'm sketching. But there is a good teachers like Ognian. He used to work at Artwad, so I would recommend people like him, or if you know someone that is specialized in those basics that can be explained. But if you know him, check his um Patreon. Yeah, Patreon. But in a nutshell, it will be just saying, yeah, sketch. But it really is just that. There is some stuff you can remember, but you will be able to remember everything while you repeat over and over and over again. And don't overdo sketches. I mean studies, because you will become stiff. So if I were a beginner, I would focus on copying other artists, um, and you don't have to understand everything they do. Um, you just start with something, and then I will do 3 times a week for like a maximum of 1 hour of um, studies, like I'm doing right now, and the rest of the time I would sketch or um, make my own like art, and then I will encounter some mistakes I make, and then I'm going to go back to studies, and then I will become stiff from the studies, and then I'm going to get loose with my own sketching and invention stuff, and then because I will forget in the meantime my studies, I'll go back to them and again, and you become less stiff, and you just start to enjoy more and more and more and get comfortable with sketching, and you will learn to not care if you make mistakes, in a way, like if this is the purpose of my drawings to be pretty, then fine, but you will have to figure it out what is the point of those studies. Brother, what am I even sketching now? Let's make it a bit oh, well, let's make it tiny bit more pretty. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes, sometimes it's 10, but usually around that time I'm finished. I mean, what am I even saying? I need around 5 to 10 minutes for these type of studies because I'm talking right now and focusing on three stuff at the same time. I need more time, but don't spend more than this, like 5 minutes on the studies. Yeah, I'm gonna add just parts to overlap here, and we will call it a day. On to the next one. Let me just erase this part. So we sketched this so far, and slowly but surely I'm getting more comfortable. Now I'm going to proceed to a taco. 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 I'm gonna take a sip of water. And I will switch my music. What should we draw? For me, I will, because I'm lacking the part when I do portraits. I will focus on this area when I have to draw a head. I think like this one should be good enough. So he's doing like a breakdown of basically collarbone. But again, you don't have to remember all the names. Who cares? Call it a Mike. Okay, no, I call it a Bob. I'm drawing a Bob. Who's Bob, bro? It's a collarbone, but I call it a Bob. Like this is your I don't want to sound like a Bob Ross, but it's basically your world. Like it's your time for yourself. The studies are so actually nice, and no one is basically looking. It's only for yourself, and you're trying to get better at it. So use it. Um, it's really good. Like I sometimes forget because it is oversimplified, but and it keeps only important elements of the anatomy. Like this is the nice overlapping. People get confused with this. Um, what is what here? So yeah, what overlaps what part? You know, the biceps, the shoulders, the chest, this latissimus. But last year said you don't know all the muscle names. Yes, I wasn't focused on the names, but as I draw more, I heard the name of the muscle, and I just remembered because I heard it so much time. I mean, yeah, listen to the name or some artist is talking about it. But yeah, I'm not a teacher. I'm one of us. I'm one of you guys. I don't even know how to say drive or drive. Oh my god. Drive is driving, okay? Drawing with O, not A. Drawing is basically you're suffocating in water. Oh my god, English is so fucking hard, bro. I'm gonna use a sign language. Okay, after I finish this anatomy area of the body, I will focus on the head. The right side is basically structural. It's good for proportions. The thirds of the body. I made some mistakes, but it's okay. I get the points. He's talking about these bumps from the collarbones. I don't know the. This is the Korean. I don't know the Korean, but I assume it's about the bumps of the collarbones. I'm heavily referencing Lumi's method, so go practice that. Once you understand those proportions, no matter the cartoonish or stylized approach you have towards driving, oh my god, sketching a face, um, it's applicable to everything, you know. Although you're like you want to sketch a fat dude or some big nosy grandpa or a model, it's totally universal. You just have to squish or lengthen some areas. So yeah. And although this might sound look naive, it really adds up with time. I really did practice this type of studies, and it's really helpful for me. And I would believe for you too, for you guys as well. So overlapping, anatomy breakdowns, proportions, perspective, it's all into one. Everything you need to know. But Lashy, it looks like his work. Yes, it's supposed to now. But when I use this, when I learn from this, or just these elements, overlapping anatomy, whatever, I'm going to use this into my own work. And I will forget some of these, but the main vibe is remembered and it can be used for my own work. and it will look completely different into my own style because I'm a human being. What does that what does that mean? Basically, when I'm sketching, a lot of different stuff will affect my sketching. Maybe I'm hungry, maybe I'm cold, maybe I'm happy, maybe whatever. I'm inspired, maybe I'm lazy, maybe whatever. And I will all those effects, all those ambiental effect will be applied into my own work, and then the result will be completely different, called style. Guys, I think this is enough for a stream like this. We will call it a day because I have to work on my own stuff. I will make a break and then get back to my own commissions and job. The job is calling, my lords. Have a good one. Hopefully I yapped around about driving and drawing and whatever it's called anymore. I'm going to learn English. Fuck. Have a good one, guys.